Hello and welcome everybody to 1968. 1968 is not a school year you want to relive. It's not something that was like, yay, I missed that year. Tet Offensive, Vietnam War, Martin Luther King was assassinated, big earth-shattering headlines. So maybe golf is not as important as some things in the world, I admit, but on this golf channel, we're going to talk about them. 1968, Masters. Bob Golby won because of his skill and his low score. But he was tied for first place. And then because of a technicality, he won without a playoff. I think that's the best way to say it. Because the other player, Roberto de Vicenzo, I think I'm saying that right. Roberto de Vicenzo, quien estaba el campeón, the little British Open, that year. He was the British Open champion that year. Pardon my French. When he was signing his partner's scorecard, he failed to correct an error. His scorecard, partner scorecard, there was an error. But he didn't notice, so he just signed it. And so they take the higher score. So instead of a 3, his playing partner wrote a 4, and so they gave him the 4. So Bob Golby won without a playoff because of one stroke, because of an error signing the card. He signed the wrong card, or an incorrect card. Penalty, okay? Now, a couple of things because of that. Number one, we get the famous quote from the Vicenzo, where he says, "What a stupid I am." What a, way to take it in good humor, And then in following years, so 1968 was the last year the Masters just had an table. It's on your cards here. After that, they put a tent up. And from then on, we're doing Masters, put a tent. That's where the players go to sign their card. There you go. Little trivia for you. MacGregor came out with this lovely iron. Something that's long forgotten in people's heads in 1968 because there's so much going on. Let's get this beauty on the review table and have a closer look. So it's easy to recognize here with the M/T Tourney on the wingback muscle. Here by the heel and top line, that's MTR1 is this particular model. And then, I think that also includes the shaft. And then on the sole, it says MacGregor with the iron number. Show you the toe profile, the heel profile. I don't know if I would call that offset, but it's interesting. The face is interesting too. I like the MT on the side of the scoring lines, the score lines right here. Very interesting. It looks like a kind of would you describe that as a square toe? Just a great clean iron, very simple. Here, let's just show you kind of here. If I can show you at address, the camera is in such a position, it's going to be hard to mimic that. I take a picture of it kind of in the addressed position that I like to show at the end. I do have some data I collected, just a few shots at the end. So if you want to stay tuned for that, you can. Either way, the shaft is pinned. Serial number here on the ferrule. Ferrule is black, white, white, black. Go team. And then we have a stepped steel shaft. 1968, I put that on here to remind me the first year they made these. I don't know if they made these for multiple years. Grip right, swing right, grip, which is just a victory grip. Yep, made in the USA, Golf Pride, victory grip. So it looks like it has passed inspection, ready to get out on the range, and I'll tell you how it feels. Is this a resistor? Has this been in shot the whole time? This, I just replaced a potentiometer on my guitar, and this must have fallen out of my resistor case. It was a 250 kilo ohm potentiometer with an audio taper that I put in my Ibanez guitar because the other one had just mechanically broken and electrically broken as well. And so this must have fallen out. I need to put this away. Good to know. MacGregor MT Tourney irons, 1968. This is an interesting time in MacGregor's history. I mean, obviously, Jack Nicklaus being in their catalogs, and they were sponsoring him, the equipment sponsor for Jack Nicklaus, which is pretty impressive. Lovely wingback design. The MT
down the score lines is noticeable at address. It looks very MacGregor. When I look at this, I'm like, oh, this is a MacGregor blade. The 60s is before they switched to laminate woods. Like, they still made, you know, persimmons in the 70s, but there was an awful lot of laminates being sold in the 70s. So, good year, in my opinion. The 60s, if you're looking for some classic MacGregor wingback irons. Just trying to find some flat ground here. So, let's see what we can get out of this. I mean, it's just a lovely classic MacGregor blade. The grip is fossilized, it's slick. But that's my only complaint. I should have wrapped it. Totally my fault. The usual pattern, draw. So we're looking at the back of the yardage markers for the other side, but I'm looking at mine off here to the right, and that one went a little over 150. We'll have some data here at the end. So, I mean, absolutely lovely. When you hit a blade, like, well, it's quiet and it just has that lovely sound and feel to it. Again, that one looked like it was about 150 plus some rollout. Interested to see the data on this at the end. Okay, this is where it gets kind of questionable. I'm going to try to fade one a little bit here. Slightly weaker grip. Out to in thoughts. See if we can get one to fade. That might have been the slightest fade. It went very straight. Very lovely. I mean, wow. MT Tourney, these MacGregor blades are so desirable in my opinion. And they really stand out above other blades because they do have those markings down the side which just scream, look at me, I'm a MacGregor blade. And I love that. I love that. Let me know your thoughts and memories in the comments below.
So this feels like an forged blade, which it is, okay? Now, when I look for sets I want to build and I want to play and make videos, I want to build a set that represents the era. And this does a really good job. The wingback design, okay? Let's distinguish our forged blades from others by making it interesting and put some decorative curves on it. Yes, we don't do that anymore. In a different way, I guess. Today, everybody wants really clean blades or hollow-bodied irons or big cavity back irons with inserts to dampen sound. That's the trend these days. So the interesting forged irons like this kind of hit a dead end with popularity. People are like, we don't want those anymore. Come the Ping I-2 in the 80s and the huge boom of stainless steel cavity backs in the 90s, this idea is just like gone. This represents the era very well. However, is it number one? No, because there's still that Ben Hogan thing going on. Ben Hogan making some of the most beautiful and elegant designs through the 60s. You're like, just get that. Number two on the list, in my opinion, are the ceramic. Do you remember the ceramic faced irons from MacGregor? Ceramic with wingback captures the air very well. What about split sole? So this might be third or fourth on the list. But yes, this is like if I want a clean, relatively clean iron. I don't want to look at a ceramic face. Maybe I don't want to like play a valuable, not that they all are, but like Ben Hogan set. Just like what represents the era of just like the normal player who would just like wants to go play golf. Not like super discount, not like Spalding, but like just pro line club member, somebody, who's respectable. What would they play? Easily these. I feel like this is a set I'm happy to build a set around. These MT Tourney, a long-standing name with a huge company at the time with a very popular design, the wingback design. To me, this captures the era very well. It's so good at capturing just your average golfer that maybe that's why people steer away from it. It's like, well, maybe we want the Hogans, maybe we want the ceramic face, So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. But for me, there is this like really charming, like captures the era appeal to this particular iron that I feel like the other ones I mentioned maybe don't quite have. But right now I'm really loving the split sole MacGregors, man. Those are just so fun. Anyway, excited to read your comments. As usual, huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Another way you can support this channel is by visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe. I am the Vintage Golfer.